Countdown's done. Let me cue everything up. You're listening to the Overwatch Rundown, a weekly podcast covering the latest in the esports scene of competitive Overwatch. Today is November 21st, and we are covering the OCE Grand Finals for the Bi Monthly Brawl, as well as the HammerDown Cup number 2 in South America. Bit of a quiet week this week, Jack. So, not a lot going on in the esports world of Overwatch. I mean, there are always some events going on. This week we do have a couple that we watched. We watched the OCE, the bi-monthly brawl down in the Australia New Zealand region, as well as the South American HammerDown Cup. I mean, I guess there was also our favorite on the podcast, obviously, Campeonato Brasileiro.
There was supposed to be the South American Overwatch circuit Season 3 Division 1 finals, but that was supposed to happen, but I think there was server instability down there led to them postponing it, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. It was going to be Brazil Gaming House versus Karma, so the same finalists we saw in the HammerDown Cup, we were going to see in that one as well.
Is that not like the story of South America though? Right now is like Karma versus BGH.
Levels, but I'm taking a look at some of the results from the Campeonato Brasileiro, and it makes you wonder. Are things changing? We'll see. I guess we'll cover that when we get to it on the schedule.
Yeah,
but
for sure. We'll jump into that. I mean, we don't have a lot off the top here for topics, guys. Like it's sort of it's quiet. While we're there's like AMAs coming out. You linked me an AMA earlier on
from the
LA Gladiators.
Yeah, but there was an interview with one of the Team Soul coaches.
Yeah. We were talking about some of the movement in the OGN scene of players either getting like Bubbly is gone apparently. For instance,
Bubbly was, Bubbly had transitioned from player to coach for Kongdu. Kongdu was bought. Well, part of Kongdu, I guess, was bought by Cloud9. So now they're the Kongdu, London Spitfire. But Kongdu Panthera level is like we were wondering who's gonna be left in OGN, right? Because all these teams are leaving, and so now we're seeing Kongdu Panthera is merging Panthera and Uncia. And they're putting together a roster. They released some players. They released some coaches like Bubbly, who everybody loved. He was bubbly and happy. But we'll see. I mean,
so it's like this is basically off season, though. I mean, even though we haven't started like Overwatch League, there's no major events going on right now. I mean, I guess we are covering maybe major events in the regional scene, which is something obviously we do here. But we're trying to say it's quiet here. It's going to remain quiet, I guess, until December when we get our first exhibition games coming from the Overwatch League.
But I had it further down in the schedule levels, but since we're talking about it, I might as well. It's quiet everywhere. I mean, it's only quiet here in North America. Everywhere else in the world, Leplos, there is a lot of action going on. I think in South America we had 3 different events going at the same time. Campeonato Brasileiro, the Season 1 competitive circuit, HammerDown Cup. You go to Europe, Leplos, and while there's no big, European competition, the number of tournaments that are going on in the individual countries out there is going up. We covered with Portugal last week or maybe the week before. We have the Razer series that's ongoing from Germany. There's a Spanish tournament going on right now. We had an Italian tournament, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. There's a French tournament that's on the schedule for us to take a look at today. And, it's just there's so much going on in Europe. Yeah. If you go to Asia, Southeast Asia, Lepelos, there's a never-ending, number of tournaments that is going on over there. We even had a major in the One Team Story Chapter 3, which we'll come to. And I'm just wondering, I'm like, we have Academy Gaming.
There's TESPA as well, which captures
TESPA's collegiate,
collegiate. But it does capture like sort of the core gaming group of ages of people at university that have time to do it on that kind of a level. So up and comers potentially.
My thing though is it's almost as if Blizzard has sucked the life out of North American Overwatch levels. If it's not, I mean, we're all waiting to hear about Contender Season 2. But even Contender Season 2 is such a small portion of the overall player base, right? Of the pro player base levels. Not everybody's going to make it into Contender Season 2, right? And I'm just looking at all these events going on all over the world, and I'm just saying, okay, it's thriving in these other places. But take Europe, okay? Europe has one Lepelos, one Overwatch League team, the London Spitfire. None of the events that I've come across for European Overwatch happens in the UK. Not a single one. But yet Europe is one of the busiest Lepelos. Where's their representation in Overwatch League? The community is already there. It's still growing. And then you come over here to the US Lepelos. We have, like I said, Academy Gaming. You pointed out we have Tespa, okay. But the majority of the Overwatch League teams are based in North America, and I'm just
I,
not seeing the same level of participation.
so I've got two comments there on this. The first one being North America, you go big or you go home. People care either about the biggest teams and only the biggest teams. It feels like, which is, I mean, this is like a generalization of the game community because that's not true. But on the forums, that's what you're seeing, right? People only care about the best players. People only care about talking about the Overwatch League teams. That's completely fair. The second thing I wanted to say is the true competition in Overwatch in North America is trying to get the most upvotes about your complaints on r/slash competitive Overwatch. So people are busy doing that instead of playing the game. Jokes aside, though, Jax, like I do agree with you on this. I would like to see more regional development. We have covered a couple of regional ones, although the one I'm thinking of was over in Montreal, in
Canadian
Canada.
levels.
Yeah, I mean,
I
we're
mean,
smaller.
I'm just
Smaller
looking
area.
at I say North America, but Canada had the one we don't. I don't think we've seen anything out of Mexico.
I think we have to
And
like really search deep. If you guys got listeners, if you know of anything like local, even so we can give it a shout out, please let us know because yeah, the fact remains, as you were saying, the European ones or the other regions are a lot easier to find than anything happening in North America right now. Like we know the small ones that are going on, aka Academy Gaming. I don't know if I can even call Tespa small. It's actually pretty good production value. So I think part of it is Blizzard trying to control.
is that a good thing, Lepelos?
I mean, in there, it's controlling the viewer's experience. I don't know if that's a good thing. I personally don't. If you want to talk about longevity game, like they're talking about trying to create regional teams here, you need to have regional interest in playing the game too. Then, right? And that means regional tournaments, regional centers that, you know, really drive that home. And I don't think unlike the European scene where you have your nationalities and they're all somewhat close to each other and you might have different languages. Here in North America, it's just well, I don't like playing with those people in my competitive game. I'll just queue up in another random pug and complain about those people. So what I was saying earlier about the Reddit upvotes on complaints is only a half joke, as it turns out. Jack, so let's go ahead and move into the discussion this week on the games starting over in the Australia New Zealand region where we watched the grand finals. Let's actually, before we get into the grand finals, though, let's give a little bit of an overview for everyone that is not up to date on what happened in the OCE Bi Monthly Brawl Division 1, so that we can lead you into where we stand with what happened this past weekend.
Interesting format that they had set up for their playoffs. Nothing too wild. Top 4 teams qualified for the playoffs. Lepelos. In the first round, the third and fourth place team, Scylla Esports was fourth. Athletico Esports was third. They faced each other. The winner of that, which was Athletico Esports 3-0, went on to face the second ranked team from the regular season, Darksided. So you had third and fourth place. They played. The winner plays second. Then the second place team in the round of 2, or second round, sorry, you had Darksided versus Athletico. Darksided took that one 3-1, Lepelos. And then the winner of that went into the grand final to face Kings Gaming, which finished the regular season at the top of the league. So it's an interesting format where, previously in 4-team tournaments, we would have seen Kings Gaming versus Scylla, Darksided versus Athletico in the typical brackets, quarterfinal, semifinal, grand final. Here, they just did it a little bit different.
Yeah, let me do say that is sort of weird too because they're also all played on the same day. So if you were in that first set of games and you wanted to win, you had to win 3 series in a row, which I mean, quote unquote pros. But come on, let's be honest. That's a lot of focus that you would need to have over that attention. Very difficult, and not a big surprise here that Atletico couldn't climb through Darksided to come to the grand finals to face
I mean,
Kings Gaming Club there.
it all played out according to the regular season rundown.
Yeah.
So Scylla, fourth place team, lost to third place team. Third place team Atletico lost to second place team Darksided. And in Darksided in the grand finals would face Kings Gaming. Now, if it continued like that, Leplos, this grand final would be rather straightforward because Kings Gaming in the regular season went 14-0 with a 20-3 map score line. So if the trend had continued, you would expect Kings Gaming to dominate Darkside and take this easily. I remember saying last week that hopefully you guys are not hearing my neighbor's generator. They just started it up again.
I honestly do not hear it. I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
It's loud as heck to me. But I remember saying last week that I had high expectations from Kings Gaming Club. Not so much for this tournament, but looking beyond this tournament because I'm looking for them to dominate their region and then move into the international tournament. The international tournament for that area would be OPC, like Blank did before them. Blank dominated Australia, New Zealand, then Blank went on to OPC, where they have yet to find their dominance, but they're still one of the top 3 teams in the area. I'm looking to see if Kings Gaming is ready to take that step. If they're ready to take that step, Lepelos, this will be a very one-sided final because they're just proving that they're the best. They're ready to go on, face new challenges. So that's what I was looking out for from Kings Gaming in this tournament. From Darksided, I was not expecting much. I figure, once Kings Gaming is gone, then Darksided would start their attempt to start climbing the ladder of the Oceanic region, and the cycle would continue.
So I just want to get this right too. The Kings Gaming Club was formerly Four Legs, if I'm correct.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
So we're talking about dominance in the region. Setting up this match, though, let's talk about the regular season head-to-heads.
Okay.
Both of them obviously won by the undefeated team, which is Kings Gaming Club. But Darksided taking a map off of them each time.
Okay. So, I mean, see, at times I was starting to, I asked myself, am I asking too much when I want a team to not drop a map? And I don't think I am. I think if you're looking to ascend to the next level, you kind of have to be the best. And by be the best, I mean you literally just don't lose. Like you just show me, hopefully with results, but like AF Blue Leplos, right? In OGN was it season 3? They went 15-0 across all maps, right? So they went through the entire group stage, and I think one of their second group stage games without dropping a single map, right? That's what you want to see. Now, sadly, AF Blue was found out, but here we are in the playoffs. There's only one game for Kings Gaming Levels. There's not much, room for them to show weakness here. And I guess it's time to find out. If I say find out if Kings Gaming was found out to not be ready, or maybe they were ready.
Getting right into it, Jax, right on Oasis to start us off with King of the Hill map here on City Center.
King of the Hill, Lepelos, please. Why start there?
Well, it's a place where you can't have a draw, Jack. So maybe we should be blessed by what things we have. Right. So here we are, Oasis. No draws possible on this map.
Just point out, Lepelos played on the live patch. Mora was banned, not allowed, but the Mercy change was in. The Ana change was in. All those things that you have to take into account here.
Well, I mean, you say that, but then, we get pharmacies right off the bat here.
Oh, Lepelos.
Both sides.
They said Mercy was not going to be in the meta with the changes because the cast time on Revival and...
I mean, I completely gone from the meta. I don't think so. We see Mercy. Don't worry, people. We've still seen Mercy. I know you're excited, but here, when you have the fairs out, it makes sense here on Oasis. In fact,
I mean, they started on City Center. I think it was 222 Pharmacy Tracer for both sides.
Of course, the
pharmacy. Fair enough. It's okay. It's not too bad there.
The start though. The start is all anime fan coming through here. Pulse Bomb built up in that first fight, man. He was going off the start here. They get it up to 99%, the side of Kings Gaming Club here, off the back of their early fight win, a couple holds, but then Nesty on Darksided Darksided come alive here and turn it around. Jax, they get the reverse here.
Lepelos, I mean,
199 with the full recap from 99 down.
Anime fan, good work on the Tracer initially. Turmo, the fair player for Kings Gaming, also really nice work.
Yeah.
The overtime clip for Darkslide started with Nesty's Farah. He got woke, as people like to say. For me, in when it comes to King of the Hill Eplos, what is it we always say? If you get to 99, right, win one fight. How do you win that one fight that you need? Take your ultimates, you smash them across the head. They didn't even do that, Leplos.
Yeah.
Turmo, who was hot, went very cold. Anime fan, again, started hot, went very cold, disappeared. Solid play by Darksided, 100 to 99, and right out of the gate, Leplos, I'm looking, because I know we have talked about Kings Gaming. I haven't had the time to actually sit and watch them because of how much was going on. Now that, things around the world have cooled off and I can actually sit and watch them play, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I'm a little worried. Like,
I think you're in good
are
reason.
they OPC ready, Lepelos?
I want to say Punk on the Diva doing a very good job there, but we move into the second round, which is this garden stage. Punk, again, Diva coming through for the side of Darksided and making his presence known. Part of the issue, though, being King losing Tongue, their fair player, early. That's kind of a problem.
He was Mercy, wasn't he?
Jax. He was the Mercy on this combo here. And, well, this round, not quite as close. Not quite as close.
I mean, Darkseid started off strong here. Nesty, again, dominating the skies, Lepelos. Tongue, I have it on my notes. It says Tongue on Kings needs to stay off respawn. Dead far too often. They had one flipper on 85%, but they were unable to hold it. And honestly, while we're looking for the meta to move away from being Mercy dominant, when you do play Mercy, if she's always respawning, you're not getting the value from it, and you will most likely lose that. And here we go, Lepelos' first map, King of the Hill, Darkside 2-0.
Though, to be fair, Jax, as well, on Ana, you don't want to dayfly that either. So let's talk about Dorado.
Throwing shade. I love it.
Hey, come on, we got to make fun. The guy's an Overwatch League player now, so just to trigger Jax more, let's go ahead and talk about Dorado instead, though. King's Gaming Club going on attack here. They're surprising defense coming out off the start here, finding a good couple of holds on the side of Darksiders, and it buys some good time there, Jax, in the first phase.
Yeah, it does. Up until the point where Anime Fan on Tracer decides, okay, I had an off map on Oasis, I need to start playing better. He does. Quats on the Monster Winston play.
Absolutely.
Had played a really big part in them getting the first cap. The thing that I found interesting is that Darkseid kept putting the nano boost onto
their Winston player.
Their Winston, and quite often when he was using it,
Mooney,
during the Primal Rage, and it's like, I get it, but I think there's better value to be had than just putting it on a Winston with Primal Rage. We haven't. I say we haven't. Ana has not been a popular pick lately. We've seen a lot more Mercy, a lot more Zen. And
yeah, I agree with
making
you.
Of who do you put the nano boost on? There's no Beyblade, right? So
yeah, but Tac Visor. I mean, you have the new Diva, which the shields can't stay up for as long. So nano attack. Okay, anyways, let's put that aside. Jax, Darksiders here falling apart in the second phase, largely not really stopped in that phase.
Nipples, Anime Fan living in the back line. If you leave a Tracer free to roam in the back line, you're going to lose. So
third phase, I want to say Darksiders sort of maybe overused ultimates from one point. And if we're talking about King Gaming Club moving on, you need to capitalize on times like that and push it to the end. Fortunately, they did not do that here, Jax. So Darksiders hold on before the end.
The tanks out of King's Gaming impressed me in the first two stages. In the third stage, they weren't getting anywhere near as much done as they had previously. Graphics, I want to call him out. DPS Zenyatta for Darkseid Lepelos. Keep an eye on him. Really nice work. DPS Zen is still... nothing has changed about Zen. So the Discord is still there. The damage is still there from Zen Lepelos. It's hard to... Dorado, not the easiest to close out. We've seen a number of teams struggle with it. King's Gaming struggle with it here, Lepelos. But Darkseid now has to show that they can meet that distance.
And Jax, this is a clip that maybe some of you guys have seen already.
Yeah.
Darksiders go on an attack, and they bring out a May Bastion, Jax. That's, if you haven't seen the clip yet, you need to go and see the clip of what happened here. Maybe we'll link it at some point. I don't have it handy. I'm sorry about that.
I had it at some point. Now I have to find it.
But, my apologies on that. But the clip essentially shows, and I will explain it here, so spoilers, I guess.
Going up in the chat right now, Lepelos.
Um, anyways, what happens is the Mei goes out and ice walls the Bastion, who's in sentry mode, up above the close building so that they get angle. Manages to pick off quats on the tank, on the Winston tank there. So they get a free kill basically by doing the strategy off the start, and then they switch up and push in really really quickly deep into that A point. But Jax, that
I just want to say something that I find myself saying a lot is, what is your plan to beat something that you yourself do? If you go back to the King's Gaming attack on Dorado, Darkseid did the same thing, right? They held their Winston on the rooftop. They played that high ground positioning, and you're saying, well, okay, if they decide to do that against us, what are we going to do to stop it? This is the kind of out of the box thinking that I like, Lepolos.
Yeah.
I linked in chat the thread on the competitive Overwatch. We were talking about it. People, I miss Mei, and they were bringing up that meta Athena Mei play from a few seasons back, Lepolos, which I hated. This I like. This makes sense. The meta Athena play makes no sense. It still makes no sense. And the people talking about it, I didn't get involved with the conversation, but this is the kind of quick out of the box thinking that I like, and I like it even more, Lepolos, in that they immediately switched off and went into a more meta composition. Too many teams, Lepolos, and even in the pro scene, right? They would have kept it, oh wow, this surprise Bastion worked. We'll stick them on the payload and let's run them out there.
They didn't have.
They immediately switched. They went to dive, Lepolos, and so as a result, King's Gaming lost their tank. They never regained footing that entire in the first section. They were always on the back foot. It's fantastic play.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely great play up until the A point though. I believe the King's Gaming came out and managed to actually. They had pushed through A, they pushed through B really quickly, but it's the third phase here that King's Gaming really, really do a good hold in order to buy a lot of time. In fact, this came down to 35 seconds, Jax, when Darksiders, with all their time that they bought in that A point attack, could finally push it through. And Jax, I'm just going to mention here twice in my notes, tongue goes down early. One of those times having Transcendence up.
No levels, again, no surprise there for me. Nesty, really good Genji play, getting them through the first two phases. Honestly, I'm looking at something. I'm saying to myself, where did this Darkseid team come from? Like, the casters were talking a lot about King's Gaming, which it's to be expected. And when you do a little reading, you expect a lot from the King's Gaming DPS. But here, Lepolos, look at Kura playing Zenyatta now for Darkseid, right? 3K on Zen, Lepolos.
Closing it
Took out both tanks, and I previously talked about on the attack how important the tanks for King's Gaming were, and he took them out by himself. Kings, though, fantastic work to hold on for 3.5 minutes, Lepolos. 3.5 minutes, though, was not enough. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Lepolos, it's 2-0 Darkseid.
Yeah, okay, so good on King for trying to make it close. Bad on King for losing 2 maps off on the start. Not looking good.
This is the poster team that's taking blank spot as dominant team in the region.
Not dominant.
Go on the
OPC. They're down 2-0. Not a dominant team even if they win. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about Lunar Colony here.
No.
They want to show me up, Jax. They want to show me up. Very quick attack here on A. Don't snowball the fight onto a B point, but a couple fights later, show you the King's Gaming Club Diva gets 3 kills. Two of those kills coming really early in the fight for a quick capture. And when I say quick capture here, I mean like they won the fight and then the capture was like done instantaneously.
I think
the time
was
4:14.
It was they had 7 minutes to capture the second point in Lepolos. Darkseid bought 3 minutes, so they did very well. I feel as if they could have held even more, but I think they started feeling themselves, and by feeling themselves, I mean, when you get into a groove and you just let things flow, if you don't watch it, things spiral out of control. Darkseid very over aggro on their defense Lepolos. When they lost the fight, it wasn't even on the cap. The fight was lost in the room, in the transition room between the attack and defense. I'm saying to myself, there's no reason to take that there. They took it there, they lost it there, and what could have been, a really solid defense, because it's 2CP, and who knows, 2CP can go in either way, Lepolos. They finished now with 4 minutes and 14 seconds in the time bank. That's a lot of time.
Yeah, and you speak of time, Jax. Let's go ahead and talk about the Darksiders attack. The anime fan, getting opening picks here to start off the defense, buying sometimes there. But Jax, there's a moment I want to talk about. That's when King Gaming Club already kicked off the point, decided to make the reapproach, and anime
Yeah.
fan coming through huge again here. Jax, 2 kills on his pulse bomb on the supports here for the re-entry into a late defense on that A point.
I just didn't get it, Lepolos, right? I talked about how aggressive they were on their B point defense. So, and it's something that comes up again with Darksided. They're an aggressive team. They took a passive stance here, Lepolos. Sure, you captured the point momentarily, but they're always going to come off of respawn. The Winston player for Darksided,
Mooney.
who had his name?
Mooney.
Well, yeah. Did good. He bought time, right? Let's say his team went down. He stayed. When I say bought time, in the smallest, amount of time, the few seconds that he bought, maybe it was 10, gave enough time for anime fan to come off respawn with that pulse bomb, and they just let them. We talked about it multiple times in previous series levels. Someone has got to, just even if you don't press them on your attack, don't let them walk into you and engage. Make them engage you away from the point so that they don't just give you don't give it to them.
Yeah. Here,
It didn't
Darksiders,
hold, but
they do
bought
come back.
time, Lepolos.
They do come back and take that A point. They try to force the fight down on the B point when they got that A capture because their time is going down quickly. Unfortunately, only could get a tick on that fight. Jack's the only other moment I want to talk about here. Last push, Bastion Ryan. How do you feel about it coming out here?
I don't understand it, man. I mean, Surprise Bastion has his places, right? I just commended them for what they did on Dorado. Here, no, Lepolos, just no.
Are you saying they
Uh,
should listen? If we have the Widow's Trap, are we trying to say we should have the Bastion lockdown?
yeah, but it just reeked of desperation here. But you know what happened, Lepos? The random, because you can't tell me he planned this. 2K self-destruct from Soyo, Lepos.
No.
Whatever
Yeah.
plan you had with the Bastion is thrown out the window when
Uh,
you lose 2 people.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a bit concerning, but that's
I mean,
the way
King
that's the way the
Lepos,
self destruct lands, man. That's the way it played out. Here,
congrats.
Kings getting their first game.
I do want to point out we've been very critical of Tung
Yeah,
on
up until
his
now.
with his mercy and his Zen multiple times. I want to say 3, but at least 2. Tung versus Modified, who was the tracer player for Darkside Lepos, he
Yeah,
won the fight.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
crucial. If your Zen is able to kill the diving tracer, it makes things a lot easier for you.
So,
So
as a coach, my view of that, obviously, you're always trying to smooth out inconsistencies, right? Like you'd rather have
yeah.
consistency than somebody that's really great or really poor at times. You know what I mean? So, the thing I would be looking at this team right now as a coach would be, does this guy need some serious warm up beforehand? Because all of a sudden he's starting to look like he's really, really good. And you looked at the previous 2 maps and not there yet. Okay, let's go
On
ahead though.
Mercy, I question the
Yeah,
positioning, but we'll
that
see.
that might be
I
practice
think.
too. Jax, we have more Mercy up and coming though, right on the next
Oh,
map. So let's go
Lepolos,
into
look.
it. Kings Row. Jax, I said Mercy on Kings Row. Kings using the Mercy again. You know who's on that. So
Yeah.
okay. Here though, you got to give it the work done by Nesty and Mooney here to take King apart here piece by piece on a quick A capture. Darkseid is we're a bit delayed engaging from there on on the B point phase. In fact, the B point defense coming out of King's Gaming Club here, Jax, that was a pretty
It was
close.
fantastic defense levels. It looked to me more of as if it was Dark. See, Dark Side I found is very aggressive and pressing. Kings here were playing like that. Dark Side had to fight for every meter that they wanted, and I mean they had such a very fast first cap. Lepolos, their second cap went all the way into overtime. They had 5 minutes and 30 seconds to push from first to second. Took it all, strangling defense, and it goes from there into the final phase levels where Kings is able to hold them to 2 points in 47.13 meters.
Which is not too far in. Jax, I think
No.
they could have even they honestly messed up a little bit in
Lepo, I
the
have it in my
second to
notes.
last
Kings
fight.
a
But,
little too loose with the ultimates
yeah.
is what I have in my notes.
So that's to say not getting ultimate value is another way
Yeah.
that we'd put that one. Jax, that means King go on attack here and Darkseid holding well here off the Darkseid holding well off the start here on that A point, despite the spawn point advantage for the side
Yeah.
of King. I want to say here particularly, we mentioned graphics earlier. One of the best Valkyries. In fact, I would probably call this one the best Valkyrie in the series coming out here on that A point, getting people up and keeping people up in a time of need. Anime fan though,
yeah,
coming through with 2 kills again when you need them up in the upper hallways, if I remember correctly here.
specifically on the Mercy. And when you get the Mercy in Mercy meta, that the fight is almost all but won for your team, so long as you don't make any serious mistakes. They did not. They capitalized on it. Lepelos gave them, I believe, 3 minutes and 30 seconds to push the second point. The thing here for me is Darkseid, great defense again, but you know what? A little too over aggressive, like it did on Horizon. They push up so much, right? Like, okay, you don't have to. I mean, I get it. You know, people want to run, the selfless spawn camp of old.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure Kings Gaming's at the level that selfless was at. I mean, of course, obviously they're not, but even within the level of competition that they're facing, they're not at the point where they can pull it off, and it hurt them here.
I mean, they bought some time there, Jax. I'm gonna like counter this one.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna tell you the problem with the counter. I like it from the fact that they prevented Cart from moving for a while, so you guarantee a solid second fight. Unfortunately, they didn't really approach their second fight very well. They got caught trying to come up through the foundry area and got wrecked. So that whole second fight was really just a alt battery farm for the side of Kings Gaming when they came out there, which actually made a bit difficult here on the side of Darkseid to try and hold in the third phase now that there's momentum build up. I mean, they do manage to hold off of Modified coming alive on the Tracer, 2 kills, Pulse Bomb, and a third after to set up the first hold. Managed to continue to leverage alts there for a bit again, Jax, but King Gaming having the killer instinct here coming through with barely enough time to secure a few kills. Transcendence was good here too.
The caster was wondering because Darkseid had a very strong position, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Wait, how did Kings just cap it out?" And it comes down Leplos. 4 ultimates by Darkseid here with about 30 seconds left. Termo, the soldier player, he gets right. So Darkseid get the pick on the enemy soldier. At that point, it's in the early part of the foundry phase of King's Row, so there are spots on the map where you can jump off and suicide. Kings Gaming was in the process of doing that, Lepelos. However, Darkseid, I talk about their aggressiveness. I talk about them feeling it and being in the moment. They wanted to capitalize on the advantage of the pick. They dropped the beat, so there's your sound barrier, Lepelos. They also used their own tactical visor out of Nesty. It wasn't needed. If you go back and watch it, Kings Gaming they're just jumping off into the pit because they know they lost their soldier. It's over. That was 30 seconds left. Now imagine, Lepos, if after that fight, 30 seconds left, they go back and respawn. That means what? 15 seconds left. Imagine if Darkseid going into that final fight has a sound barrier, has a tactical visor of their own. How different would it be with the positioning that they had? They didn't have the ultimates. They couldn't hold. Kings Gaming level, this was a gift. They should be down 3-0 in a best of 7 right here, except now it's 2-1.
Well, no, Kings Row was the 4th map here too.
Was it the 4th map?
Yeah, this was 2-2 here at this point.
It's 2-2.
Yeah. Putting us onto.
It should be 3-1 though.
They should be 3-1. I agree with you completely, and that's their own fault at this point. In Jax, they bring us to Lijiang Tower next. It's another King of the Hill mechanical base. Maybe they're trying to reset themselves. And Jax, let's go ahead and talk about it. Starting right off on the garden phase of Lijiang Tower, we're seeing pharmacies out yet again.
Oh boy.
This time though, King Gaming Club getting the better of the fair off of the initial positioning here.
Lepelos, you say this time. This is very reminiscent of Oasis on the first map. Let's just jump ahead, Lepelos. First map on Oasis, 99-0 for Kings Gaming, right? Now 96-0 for Kings Gaming before Darkseid flip. So pretty much the same thing, Lepelos. What happened? I mean, it's the same thing, dude.
Punk
Put
coming
together
alive
your
again.
ultimates.
Yep. The ultimate's not coming there. This is the basics for, again, like we just mentioned it with Darkseid not doing that on Kings Row. Now we're seeing the same come out of the side of Kings Gaming. Concerning stuff if you're talking about trying to get into other regions and grow to be larger than your current region. So stuff I'd like to see.
Solid mercy play from Kura, by the way. Valkyrie in that final fight.
Yeah.
I mean, they lose what I think they lost their Farah and their Lucio, and he comes in and is like, "Oh hey, heroes never die; they get back up." At that point, key moment here, Lepelos, he uses the Valkyrie to revive 2 people. Anime fan comes in with the pulse bomb. You know what he does? He kills himself. Tracer in a scrappy fight, in a cleanup fight going into ultimate, that is where Tracer's shine. Just go ask Sabolbi, Lepelos. He
Yeah.
destroyed in that kind of environment. Anime fan down. First map. More and levels. This is, you might as well just say this is Oasis on the city all over again. But now we're going to the second map, the Night Market Lepelos. Things start to differ a little bit than they did on Oasis. With Kings Gaming decided we need to wake the hell up.
And that they did. Jax, let's just cut to the chase here. 100-0 on this round.
Cut through it.
Dominant performance here. On
Anime fan, I was
yeah.
very critical of his post bomb and killing himself. Fantastic play by him on the Night Market here, Lepelos. 1-1 going to the control center in best of 3 deciding map.
Yeah, here Kings Gaming do get an early flip with Mooney going down early. Shoyu also doing really good work on the Diva here on the side of Kings Gaming. Also getting, I believe, a self-destruct kill here sets up for a late retake on the side of Darksider for Punk here. For Punk on the side of the Darksided. As well as Nesty with a 2-kill Rip Tire, allowing Darksided to secure and hold point for the win.
Again, these random Diva self-destructions come out of nowhere, Lepelos. Kings Gaming had control of the fight at this point. Diva bomb comes in, takes out 2. Nesty, was he on Junkrat or Genji? I don't know.
He
Whatever
was on
did.
Genji later on, I think on Junkrat, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I would have to double check actually, but either way,
Nesty got the job done, whether it was Junkrat or Genji, Lepelos. And, I mean, it's just
point though.
It's just for me, it's King showing this King of the Hill weakness, right? It's something that I don't like to see. King of the Hill is important, right?
Yeah, if you're going to be the dominant in the region, you need to be winning your King of the Hill matches. Jax, that pushes us map 6, Junkertown. I guess we're in the area of Junkertown anyway, so I guess they wanted to play that. And what are these compositions we're seeing, Jax? King go on attack here. Orisa Roadhog Widow coming out for the first hold.
Lepelos, highly questionable composition here from Kings.
I mean, if the composition wasn't bad enough, so what do you feel about dying in the open to a whole hog? 3 people dying to a whole hog in the open.
Again, it starts out with Darkseid Lepelos being very aggro. I sound like a broken record, but
yeah.
They get very aggro. First fight goes to Kings. They never really recover from that. How Quats gets to 3K on the Roadhog, whole hog, I'm just like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
Like you're running into him?
They have nothing to stop you from running away, like literally.
I think they're just trying to touch point to slow it down a little bit, which I guess that's something. I mean, but Jax,
Levels, the thing I want to point out right quick though. Again, the nano boost went from Kura, went on to Mooney, who was the Winston player. He did nothing with it, Levels. I think after the nano boost ran off, his primal rage percentage was at like 65%.
Yeah.
If in an extended fight, if your Winston is getting the nano boost and he does not even building up to a primal rage, where's the value? Yeah, they keep putting it on this Winston. I don't understand.
I mean, while Mooney has played well at times, I do not think this is a good strategy.
He's doing nothing with these nano boosts.
And I think they should look at this on the coaching side of things, if they have a coach, which hopefully they do, to look at this and really correct this, because it's not working out.
People might think Nano Boost, she builds it fast. No ult is a throwaway ultimate. Nano Boost, with what it could, they didn't have a Zarya here, but in situations where you could throw it on your Zarya, they had a Genji level, so you can let your Genji work to his blade or combo it with a blade. You get so much more from it.
There's a lot of things you can do with it. I don't mind it building, but you should still be able to secure a kill, particularly if you put it on a dive character, right? Like, you can't just be like, you're going to kill somebody now that you have nano. It's like, no, you still have to dive somebody. You just kill that person much quicker. Okay, anyways, Jax, second phase here. I wanted to mention Modified coming alive in the second phase. Again, we're using the same terms, but Modified does a little bit of work, but we're talking about inconsistency earlier. I've got to say the same about Modified. Sometimes he's hit, sometimes he's missed. He was hit here at the start, and then Anime fan shows that he's a better tracer. 4 kills here to clean up in the turn
And
of a fight
the
to
thing
push
for me, like I'm
into
looking
the
at this
last
and I'm
phase.
questioning what's the Orisa doing, Leplos? I mean, yes, they were able to push through and cap. You said, well, obviously Jax it worked, but Quads on the Roadhog, he's getting value. I don't really understand because Roadhog still has some of the same problems that he has, where he's a bit of a niche picker, Lepelos.
Yeah.
He stayed on this Roadhog through first and second phase.
I mean,
he's made it work. I'm questioning Darkseid for allowing that to happen, but then this Orisa,
yeah, I don't agree with
what's he
Orisa on
doing,
the
Lepelos? Like
they don't have a Bastion. They're not a shield based composition, so you wonder why have a shield in that kind of a situation.
But
I agree
Lepelos,
with
they
you.
capped it out. They had 2 minutes and 25 seconds to push the distance.
Show you in Quats, the tank line coming through here, particularly, I think, is what I would say at the end of third phase here.
In the fight, at the end of third, though, Shoyo dropped the Orisa for the Diva.
Yes.
The Mercy advantage for King's Gaming Club, by the way, is showing itself. So I know when I watch a few pro players when they do regular competitive play, regular pugs and stuff in their Masters, Grandmasters games, a number of them will say they have a Mercy, we don't. That's a really big disadvantage. It's a big disadvantage to have to work around. Yes, Mercy is nerfed to levels. They're still getting value out of the revive, out of the Valkyrie revive as well. Darkseid is just letting it go for too long. And Lepelos, I'm really at a loss here. Darkseid final third defense, Lepelos 2-3-1. Genji Tracer Sombra.
It looked like desperation. They didn't look like they had a plan here, and it looked bad. Jax, let's go ahead and talk about their attack then.
Okay.
Because we're seeing Bastion, Roadhog, Widow, Orisa, Anna, Mercy as a combo coming out for Darksided.
Is this what Renegade's playing like we saw in Contenders or something, Lepelos?
Even Renegades did not do this on attack.
Wait a minute, defensive Widow, Tracer, Orisa, and Roadhog?
Yeah, definitely weird to have that on attack there. But Kings pretty much kept the same composition that they had previously for the first phase, except for they had Tracer in the mix this time around. Let me just say, Nesty landing at three kills here.
Lepelos. Kings Gaming has got to figure out some kind of anti-Bastion strat for these first points. Because on Dorado, they got owned by Bastion. And then again here on First Point Junkertown, they got owned by Bastion. Is there a clear counter to Bastion in the meta right now? Like,
I mean, now
what
that
do you do here,
that much more nerfed, I'm not sure. I mean, we've seen counter picks. We've seen Roadhog. Maybe we're going to see Moira in the future, Jax. Who knows?
I'm not liking the defensive Widowmaker. I
do not like that either. I think that was a poor pick. But Jax, if we're talking about good defensive picks, then when they get Shoyo on the Diva in Quats, I think he was back on the Winston, if I'm not mistaken, or was he still on the Roadhog? I don't have that down in my notes right now. But he had the tank line again coming out of the side of King's Game Club here, showing up in the second phase. And we're actually seeing some breadth coming out of Anime Fan here, getting 3 kills on Attack Visor on his soldier to do some pretty good work there. And
I have here in my notes that Quats was on the Roadhog, because I have here Quats got away with the Roadhog for so long when many do not. He was, for the entire map, offensive defense of Junkertown, he played Roadhog, and he got away with it. So, okay, props to him.
So they push us to Game 7, Jax, and they have that determination to win. So
I wish I had context. Like, one of the things that I want to ask Darkseid is how much practice they've had on Junkertown. Their defense was terrible for the most part. I just didn't like it in their offense. It worked with the Bastion on First Point when they switched off to the more meta comp 2-2 Genji Tracer. They didn't have it, right? Like, I'm looking. What are you gonna do? Like, I never really felt that they had a plan of attack. Just like I felt like they didn't have a plan for defense, which is why when they came out with that Sombra, you were like, what? So Darkseid maybe not enough time on Junkertown Lepelos, but that does set us up for Game 7. You said we're going to Eichenwalde, I think?
Eichenwalde, yep. And we have Darkseid on attack here first. King's Game Club holding off strong.
He's playing the Roadhog again. Quads.
I mean,
defensive Roadhog on Eichenwalde now.
And it's working. It's working though. And maybe this is the difference between the absolute high-end plays of competitive Overwatch and maybe mid-tier plays, where you find what you're comfortable on, you find what's working, and you leverage that until they beat it. That's
Now,
that's what we talk about: the widow check, the junkrat check, the Farah check, the
now we got
roadhog
Roadhog.
check,
Okay,
right?
so
The
here's
Harbor
the
check.
thing.
Should we call that the C9 check? I'm not sure.
The questionable thing
Going
out of
old
this
school.
dark side attack here, Lepelos or Eichenwald, I'm looking at the 1-3-2 they're deciding to run with Mooney on Farah.
Yeah.
Interesting to send your main tank over to Farah, Lepelos. Nesty on the Genji modified playing the Tracer. Couple failed pushes and then they go back for a standard 2-2-2.
Yeah, and that works out largely because Punk gets the kill on
Lepelos.
Punk came through clutch
It's
a number of
random,
times.
dude. He got so many random self-destruct
Not
kills, Lepelos.
not just that though. Like I mean, if you go through the series, I'm not just talking about self destructs. The guy did work on Diva getting kills, which he can do now. So
I mean, Lepelos,
good tank. That's what you need to
Diva's
be able
more
to do.
offensive than defensive right now.
And that's why it was good to see. I'd say in terms of Diva v Diva matchup here, I think Punk had the edge on Shoyu in the kills
Punk
department.
had the
I'd have to
edge
go back and
and-
look for defensive peeling, but
And here, in this specific instance, I was wrong. It was not a self-destruct kill.
Yeah.
Because I have here, what opened it up for them is Punk dove on the attack. He went right for face to Mercy. I'd say it again. Mercy dead on defense. That's the linchpin. It's gone. So the defense crumbles from that point, Lepelos.
and the other big play we have to talk about is Kira actually getting a Mercy pistol kill before switching.
Lepelos, DPS. I mean, who was it? I think it was Unco used
Got
to
a
keep
stat
track.
pad.
Uncle used to keep track of getting kills on Mercy, and he would let the casters know so the casters could let the fans know about that kind of thing. I mean, fantastic play the levels, but you talk about fantastic play. They have 3 minutes to push the second point, and
doesn't start well. Tongue Jax. We talked about Tongue being maybe out of position on the Mercy early. Here though, huge pick on Kira early in the second phase here, allowing King to put a stop right at the door.
Lepelos, I mean, again, so
the first door, I should say here.
Yeah.
I mean, Darksided do push in off of Modified coming through with a 2-kill pulse bomb to get into the second phase here pretty well.
They
then Modified
gets on the bridge.
Face again early. So Modified really doing his best, coming with a full head of steam here in the second phase. So he's still in this, but Darksided unfortunately not able to leverage the early advantage they had over the bridge into capturing that B point here, Jax.
Exactly, Lepelos. You talk about the early advantage that they had. The 30 seconds left, right? They used Dragon Blade, they used Transcendence just to get progress on the bridge. Like they were stalling out there. Okay, fine, you got that. From there, I mean, it's not. They didn't let Kings come back in because Shoyo literally flew through the window right above the second point capture on Eichenwald to contest. I would have liked a more forward presence. Kings has shown that they're not hesitant of coming in on last second defenses. And I was hoping Darkseid would take a more aggressive position because Darkseid is the more aggressive of the two teams here. Here they came out, Shoyo bought them time, Lepelos, anime fan. So previously on Horizon, we talked about on the A point how Shoyo anime fan came in with the 2K pulse bomb, right? After Quad said bought them time. Here Shoyo buys time, comes out with Tracer Lepelos, he gets 2 kills. And the 2 kills that he got were what did I have? Oh, on Takura, he pulse bombed the Zen. Zen is so in the dive composition. Zen is such a pretty big part. That's healing. That's the Discord. It's gone, Lepelos. Yeah. They had nothing left after using the Dragon Blade and the Transcendence. I think Mooney might have had the Primal Rage, but it didn't really do them anything. Held to 1 point and 122.62 meters. So basically, right there at the end of second point. Now we've seen teams hold here. We've seen Lunatic High Lepelos come out with some fantastic defenses here on the second point. But you would have to say, your best defense, if you're Darkseid, is to not give up the first point.
Jax, okay, let's talk about King.
That's your best defense.
King's Gaming Club on attack here. Tongue coming through with a pick onto Modified. And then Anime Fan getting graphics to start off with a quick A capture here, Jax. Oh no.
Lepelos.
Oh no.
You mean the defense. You mean to tell me the defense lost Tracer and then Mercy.
Yeah.
What do you do if you're a defense?
You back off. You back off, Jax. You know what you do if you're a
5 minutes
defense,
and 30
though?
seconds to push the distance now, Lepelos.
They have some ridiculous time. Darkseid, though, coming through with that aggressive defensive posture that you talked about. They hold before the door here is something that we've seen teams
Lepelos,
do
they
more and
held
more.
for over 2 minutes before the
Incredibly
game
good work
even
here.
went up.
That was huge. Honestly, though, they're still at a disadvantage when you look at
3
where
minutes and 15 seconds for them to push the distance.
that would be like a normal time or
Yeah.
like a moderately slow time through A point, right? That's like a minute that you had on the clock when you captured A point equivalent. So this could go either way, Jax, and it still ends up being. I mean,
Not that close, Lepelos.
not
I'm
not
sorry
that
to
close.
say.
Yeah, I mean, like
I mean,
it just the momentum was built as soon as they lost that spawn camp defense. In fact, that spawn camp defense going down when they lost their mercy player, which is not faces. And when it was graphics here, they lost them. I mean, like you're gonna lose a spawn camp eventually, unless like skill disparity. And that's not the case here.
I said their best bet was to not lose first point at all. After that, their best bet was that spawn camp. Here's the deal. That is so far, Lepelos, that you're literally fighting outside of the spawn for the attackers. They can just reinforce and, very quickly here. I'm going back to anime fan. No surprise there. Tracer, once again, playing a huge part in a team completing the objective. Lepelos going into the end there. Anime fan gets modified. That's his counterpart. Tracer dead. He gets graphics. That's the Mercy dead. Like on the first point, when you lose your Tracer and your Mercy, the fight is over. I don't care who you are. You would have to be Flower with some heroic Widowmaker play to survive something like that.
No
Darkseid, after losing their Tracer and Mercy, Lepelos, were forced into a last meter defense with 90 seconds left on the clock. They could not hold. Kings Gaming tanks coming through in the end, doing tank things to push. When you're literally a meter left and it's a brawl, it's brute force. That's when you want your tanks to, put forth the brute force. They do that. Lepelos Termo rip tire into a Junkrat mine kill, gives Kings Gaming the win. Come from behind, Lepelos. 4-3 victory here in the bi-monthly brawl.
Yeah, and on this unfortunate side for Darksided, you lost 2 match point maps. That's gotta hurt. I mean,
Lepelos,
they had some moments, Jax, but consistency and ultimate value.
Go to Kings Row, Lepelos. They should have had Kings Row. Very, very poor ultimate management cost them on Kings Row. Damn.
They didn't have a plan for Junkertown, it looked like, either.
Lepelos, they look lost. I mean,
so 2 maps gone just like that. Okay, and it was a good series though. It's definitely, if you're interested in like what's going on right now and want to watch like current Overwatch, the casting was pretty good there. Who was casting? I sent a tweet to those guys.
Send a tweet to them, Lepelos.
I did.
Come on, Lepelos. You don't even
remember off the top of my head, which it was like a. Okay, I'm gonna mess it up, so I let me get it right before I mess it up. But the casting was good, and production.
This would be at Kit Fox Puntin Lepelos and at Lil Fuzzy Seal, according to your tweet that you sent out.
That's correct.
I will also link that in chat there. Back to the original point that I had at the start of this, Lepelos. Kings Gaming showing that they're ready for the next step. I have doubts.
I don't.
I have. There's no way you don't have doubts after going 4-3 here.
Yeah, I think the answer is unless both teams are ready to go on, then we could say. But honestly, I don't think either team is ready to move into the OPC.
The next step OPC. I mean,
I don't think they're ready for it. Like, I think they can be a bottom level team. I think they might be able to beat Detonator Gold or Sun Sisters. But
Lepelos, I had to point out Season 2 OPC, the bottom of the league was Libelant Supreme.
Oh yeah, sorry, my apologies. I keep on forgetting who's the new race to the bottom.
Did not even make it back after.
That's how little there are
one Lepelos. But I'm looking at OPC. Mega Thunder in 6th place, AHQ in 5th place. I think they might even struggle against AHQ.
Yeah, and HQ had some really great games out there, Jax. Like they really did. So I'm not sure if they're already. They might already be scrimming them. I'm not sure, Jax. Like they might be. But
I'm looking at the regular season results for OPC. Blank was 4th. Blank crawled into that final playoff spot, Lepelos. If Blank is 4th and we rate Blank highly, Kings Gaming would be where? Seventh?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they'd be competing for the bottom there, and that's not what you want to do when you come in with a team to the next level. I don't think
Okay.
they're ready yet. I don't think Kings or Darksided are ready right now. They look like they're good practice partners for the current range, but they have to work on improving themselves before they can make the step up to the next level of competition. Jack's,
As good as Anime Fan was, Lepelos, I mean, I think Bacon Jack would eat him alive.
me too. I
And
mean,
modified. When
he
he
had
had moments,
moments,
his
but
consistency not there at all. And for Tracer, you listen to Overwatch Rundown, you already know what Lepelos and I think of Tracers and how important they are. I said Bacon Jack would eat him alive. With Erster DPS for Artie and Lepelos would absolutely crush.
if I had to pick
They
one
got so
player
much
from
stuff.
both teams, it would be Anime Fan was clearly the most
Yeah.
consistent on the side of Kings, and for me, Punk, like really good
Really,
play
really
for him.
solid diva play. I actually have him in my notes quite a bit. I
Yeah,
just trying to. We're already at the
modern
50
diva
minute
play
mark,
too,
but
Jax. We should mention this. This is not like the right mouse button
right.
hold and protect everyone. This is someone that's like out there and tumbling with the enemy a lot and getting kills. Now, I mean, granted, we're watching one time, so we may not be going over with a fine tooth comb.
Yeah,
Oh man, you get the picture.
tooth level.
Even my language, I'm
Really.
not doing that with. Anyways, my point here is we might have missed something in terms of his defensive positioning or something like that. That's hard to catch when you're just watching it one time through.
I
But
need proper replay level so I can focus in on these specific things.
well, we're not coaches, we're viewers and
Okay,
spectators, and we're trying to bring you guys games as much as we can. And Jack, speaking
take us
of
to the
that
next game,
goal,
Lepelos. Might as well go to the next game.
well, if we're talking about teams trying to raise themselves out of their region, Jax, we're down in South America. Who do we talk about in that kind of a consideration? It's none other than Brazil Gaming House first and foremost. They've been
Yeah.
considered top of the region for a long time, and then over the last
Are
what
they still
three,
considered top now, Lepelos?
they have competition. I mean, I'm sure
The
depending
last
on your
time they fought
nationality, you
Karma,
can.
Karma took the last.
Yeah,
Last time they fought, Karma won.
yeah, they did. They absolutely did. And there is still a lot of, I'm sure, discussion amongst the fans of both of those clubs about who is the top and who isn't. So, Jax, we have another hammer down cup here down in South America, and let's go ahead and, well, you know who's going to be in the final, Jax, but let's go ahead and just review a little bit about what happened on the Hammer Down Cup series.
Okay.
So I'm opening it up right now
This
just to
bracket is much too big. Lepelos, you gonna cover all these games,
no,
dude?
I mean we're gonna. I'm just gonna mention a couple of things here. Some of these teams you might see in. Okay, so I'm gonna point out a couple of things here, just because it has impact on our favorite our favorite Overwatch tournament, Jack, which is the Overwatch Campeonato Brasileiro.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, what round is this? I think this is okay. This is a double elimination.
Yeah, double elimination.
Double elimination. Okay, so let's go through upper bracket for a second. I want to mention when Dogma Esports, who's in Campeonato, they go out to Centaurus Gaming 2-0
Go ahead.
in looks like the quarterfinals of the upper bracket.
Yeah.
Let me look to the lower bracket now because there's just a couple other things I'll mention. Avant Esports, also in Campeonato Brasileiro, going out to this team called Semeron Esports. Jax, unknown team to me. Maybe they're big down there. It doesn't look like it because they then
Up and comer Lepelos.
they immediately lose to Terminals. But Avant Esports and Campeonato out. Dogma then also drop out in the same round to Tech Titans, another team I have no idea who they are.
The Terminals team is someone I want to keep an eye on, Lepelos. Because they beat WS Esports, which I
But you say
recognize
that
from
Kazakh
from
Gaming Jax beats WS Esports. Kazakh Gaming.
what has happened to WS not looking too good, eh, Lepelos?
None.
Okay.
I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. None. I mean, yes, these are one-off
Competition
games.
rising in South America in towards the middle of the pack, Lepelos. Interesting.
So you say Tech Titans beat WS Esports. Keep an eye on. They beat Kazakh Gaming, Jax. So they managed to beat Kazakh Gaming, but then they lost to Ivariot. I don't even know how to say that. Tech Titans, or like Tech Titans losing the 1-0 to the Ivy Art esports team, and they're out. And then Ivy Art esports loses to Centaurus Gaming. Jax, I have no idea what's happening in the South America region right now. I don't know where to place any of these
the only
teams.
thing that it's middling. Let's just be honest. It's middling. The middle of the pack in South America is middling. The teams are still trying to figure out, the hierarchy down there. You've got Karma, you've got Brazil Gaming House. Interesting, I don't see Keep here, Leplos. So
I mean, we've talked about Keep formerly disbanding, in fact, right? Like,
you're right. The Campeonato Brasileiro is their last tournament together. Makes sense to why I'm not seeing Keep here then. Okay,
which makes me wonder if these guys are on some of these other teams or not too. But either way,
brackets are a little hard to follow here.
Let's just go to the upper bracket final and mention what's going on there. Karma taking the 2-0 over Brazil Gaming House in the upper bracket final. Brazil Gaming House earning their way back in with a 1 over Centaurus Gaming.
Lepolo. So wait a minute. You mean to tell me Karma 2-0 Brazil Gaming House in upper bracket finals? This is back-to-back wins now for Karma over Brazil Gaming House.
And they they're put into the grand final, and they have
also want to point out Hooktastic Cup Brazil Gaming House. They showed up to represent in the Hooktastic Cup last weekend. They went out in the very first round there as well.
Yeah, you got to be disappointed in Brazil Gaming House if you're a fan there, because
they said that they're
looking
for sponsorship to come to the NA.
I'm sorry, you're not going to get it
for contenders.
You're not going to get it.
This is why the team split up, Lepos, because some of them didn't want to go.
The people saying that they don't want to go, hopefully it's because they realize that they're not ready for it yet. Because honestly, looking at the results, they are not ready for it. They are not ready for it. Let's go ahead and talk about the grand finals, though, because we have grand finals here of these two top teams in South America.
I'm not expecting much at this point, Lepolos. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, and Karma has the one map advantage coming from the upper bracket winner.
Okay.
Side. Start on Gibraltar Jacks, and this one's pretty quick. Brazil Gaming House, Widowmaker Jacks not working off the start here on their attack. I think nothing makes that point clearer than when Lyco switches from the Widowmaker to the 76, and surprise, Brazil Gaming House suddenly makes it through that A point in OT, basically.
I mean, Lepolos, you say surprise, I say doo-doo. The reason I say doo-doo is because we have here DDX, the Mercy player for Karma. He goes down first. It's clear as day, Lepolos. When your Mercy dies, your defense will struggle. Without the Mercy dying, Lepolos, they are not taking this point. They showed they had nothing. They had nothing. They wasted a lot of time on the Widowmaker, Klaus, everybody's favorite Argentinian from the World Cup qualifiers, Lepolos, doing really good work on the Dragon Blade. I do want to point out around 140 mark, Klaus pops the Dragon Blade a la Mao. One of my favorite Lucio players, Lepolos, he tries to drop the beat. He dies before being able to drop the beat, but he started the animation. You know what that means? Done. Sound barrier gone at that point. Sound barrier not the easiest thing in the world to build up. But from there, Lepolos, they get what? They get the cap. They go into the second phase, and
they didn't get any. Okay, so importantly, no stagger kills here, which allowed Karma to regroup and create a early hold. And Jax, they strangle Brazil Gaming House at the doorways largely from this point onwards. 42.25
Brazil Gaming
meters.
House. I mean, I get it. You want high ground control, right? We talk about high ground control all the time. They kept trying to force through that top right side. They couldn't get through the door with 6 people. The one time they got through the door with 6 people, Lepolos, they tried to get through the second door, and then they died. I didn't understand. Doo-doo, by the way, Lepolos, I gave him props for killing DDX on the Mercy in the first point to get them the cap. In the second point, on Tracer, he's dead when they initiate Lepolos. He dies. They get the revive. He dies again. Klaus is left unchecked on the Genji. Leviathan, who we haven't really talked about, Lepolos, he's free casting on a soldier. I don't even have to tell you what that means for an attacker when a defensive soldier with positioning is free casting. Lepolos, 1 point and 42.25 meters. They didn't go anywhere.
That's not enough for a win, Jax. Karma going on attack. Similar story here, though. Widowmaker finding nothing on the side of Karma's attack. Thankfully, Klaus's Genji coming through again on attack to push through that A. And unlike Brazil Gaming House, Karma here finding stagger kills. Jax,
they got to do something with the spawn levels. They've got to do something with the spawn.
I agree. Here. This is a game balance issue, and it's not fun, and it's stupid. right?
It
Like it's
cost them the
both.
map. They had no positioning.
They had no chance of regrouping, right? Like, what
Not
do
with
you
such
do?
a
Stay
short
down
distance.
there? I don't know. Like, maybe I mean that is the answer, Jax. Like, you stay down there and you stay hidden. Like, whatever.
What?
It's not a good
Lepolos, what
strategy.
kind of plan is that, dude?
You
You gonna
have
stay down and hide?
you got to wait for your team to come back up top, and you have
Lep-
42.25
but then
meters
you're
to go.
split, Lepolos. Lepolos, why is there no back
Jax
door?
going through the
Just make a door.
Jax going through the one door previously didn't really help Brazil Gaming House anyways. I don't think anything was going to help them here. Let's go ahead and
I
talk
mean,
about Kings Row though.
Lepolos, first map watch point to
Yeah.
Karma. They're now up
2-0.
2-0 with
Yeah.
the upper bracket advantage. This is a best of 5, I should say. So one more, Lepolos, it's over.
Yeah, and Kings Row coming out. Karma going on attack here. Hanzo base play coming out of them on their attack. Not really working that well. As Brazil Gaming House holding well with a Rhine, Zarya, Junkrat, Mercury combo. Jax.
I didn't like the Hanzo play out of Leviathan. Okay, not so much the Hanzo play. I didn't like the lack of coordination between him and Beast. Beast was playing Zarya for Karma. One of the best things you can do: Graviton Surge into a Dragon Strike Lepolos. Very little the enemy team can do to counter that.
Yeah.
And here they are. Zarya, the biggest concern I had, Zarya beat Hanzo to ultimate. That should never happen. I'm sorry. Should never happen. Zarya, the Hanzo should always be, hey, are you close? Are you close? Are you close? Here, he throws out the Graviton Surge. Lepolos does nothing with it. That's around 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Right after that, because Hanzo or Leviathan playing Hanzo is 10% behind, he just throws out his Dragon Strike. He gets Dezino on the Mercy. Fantastic play. But Neil Lepolos coming out with his Eye of the Kaiser play.
Yeah, right.
Massive Earth Shatter. Fatty Shatter, as we like to say. 4 to 5 people down for Karma Lepolos. They're wiped out. That was their best chance so far because enemy Mercy was dead. Sorry.
Yeah.
40 seconds to go, Lep. Beast, Graviton Surge, saves what could have been an awful fight. They got lucky.
They did.
This is all I can say. They got lucky, man.
But
Klaus stepping up big to get Dezino on the Mercy. He popped Valkyrie. Dezino popped Valkyrie to get away from Klaus. He didn't work. Klaus ran him down. From there, Klaus just sat there with Tracer and shot everybody caught in the Graviton Surge. They get through the first point.
Yeah, Jax. And then from there, they just build up a lot of momentum. They get it through B quickly. C point, Jax, Leviathan coming through with the Hanzo here finally a little bit. They end up having 2:16 on the clock, Jax. That's a pretty quick time.
I do want to say, yes, Leviathan made it work. At no point did they run Graviton into Dragon Strike.
And I'm not saying that's correct either. What I would say here is this is Brazil Gaming House having no defense from second phase.
They had a fantastic first point defense up until 30 seconds left. After that, they had no defense whatsoever.
So the question is now, can they push through? And who comes clutch for Brazil Gaming House? Your boy Alamau. 3 kills, Jax, on his Lucio here.
I told you, DPS Lucio levels. The first people know. People who listen to the rundown know. Alamau, DPS Lucio. I like that. Also, Lepolos, got to point out, Karma not really equipped to deal with the Pharah.
No, absolutely not.
Junkrat Genji not best counter to Pharah.
They got destroyed on A point here. Suffice to say, Graviton Surge also coming into play, but Karma only delaying in their fights basically from here on out largely. But that said, they do manage to slow down Brazil Gaming House enough to have only 2:19 on the clock despite the quick captures.
These were exact opposites, Lepolos. Brazil Gaming House, fantastic first point defense, rest of the map terrible. Karma, first 2 parts of the map, terrible, last part pretty good to buy themselves time and equal it up. So 2:19 versus 2:16. Basically evil.
Yeah, the weird thing is it didn't feel like Karma was really winning the fights even when they were slowing time down. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think this would be an example. I wouldn't use this as like this is how you'd slow time down, but this is an example of when you play the objective, you can still slow down the objective, right? So okay. Anyways, let's talk about second attacks. Karma with the 3-second differential here, having to go on attack first or attack second first. If that makes sense. Okay. Anyways, they don't bring out the Hanzo this time. I'm a fan of not bringing out the Hanzo here, Jax. That's a smart thing considering it didn't
it can work, Lepolos. the coordination wasn't there. I do want to say that was there. Dudu playing the McCree, fantastic work by him, Lepelos. Neil went down very early on, so they lost the main tank. Brazil Gaming House, they just stepped back. They gave up the capture point progress, which you never want to do, but sometimes you have to do. Your main tank is gone. You can't be as aggressive because you have no mitigation. They backed off. They recovered Lepelos, pushed back in at 60%. 60 is not 100. Still works for them. And from there, you had Lico 2K Riptire with 40 seconds left, Lepelos. Karma has to reset. Klaus, unable to get into the backline like he did previously.
Are you reading my notes, Jax? I think you're reading my notes right now. Like,
I mean, Klaus, unable to get to the backline. His tanks, unable to do much of anything.
Yep.
Designo, solid mercy play.
Okay, see, I didn't have that. My next note here was the Graviton Surge to seal the deal from HammerDown here.
Yeah.
At the end.
Quiet series for HammerDown, by the way. Just very quiet.
Yeah, I mean that feels like
nothing wrong with that. It's just, I mean, or maybe there is something wrong with that.
It's hard to know, Jax. It's really hard to know without having paying more attention to him. But he's not making obvious impactful
60%. 60%, like I said, is not 100. Brazil Gaming House, what they got to do? Basically, get 2 ticks, Lepelos, win.
Yeah, and Pharmacy versus Pharmacy, Jax coming out. I don't think Karma's not playing their game. I'll say that, and they're taken apart because of it.
I guess I should have mentioned it when Brazil Gaming House went on their attack. I've talked about Karma not being equipped to deal with the Pharah on first point. After that, they put Leviathan on McCree. That wasn't working. In the third phase, he went from McCree to Soldier, and that forced Lico off of Pharah. I think Lico switched a little too soon. I would like to see more Pharah play from him, but fine. They still got it done. Here, he's like, I don't want to play McCree. I don't want to play Soldier. I'm going to go Pharah v. Pharah. I don't like that.
That's one of those monkey see, monkey do things, Jax.
This not what you're there for, Fair, right? And they got crushed levels. Is there anything else to say? They got crushed.
Absolutely, they did.
Vericheck not met by Karma. Not met at all.
Brazil Gaming House earning their first point. They're still down and on.
It's 2-1.
Yeah, they're still on match point here too, Jax. So, you know, they're not out of it yet. They have to win 2 maps in a row, and the next map, Dorado, Jax coming through, and Brazil Gaming House having to go on attack. Something we've mentioned is if you've got something that's working, you bring it out again. Jax, Brazil Gaming House, Pharmacy coming out. Both sides again, though.
Levels. I don't understand.
Why do you do this?
I don't understand Karma running the Pharmacy. Okay.
Difference here, Klaus on the 76. Klaus performing pretty highly, and as well Battletoad on the side of Karma bringing out the Ana. So you have additional hit scan. So they're expecting this Pharah, I think, Jax. I don't think this is their regular strat for defense here, unless it's just something that's developed in scrims between each other.
I like Klaus rotating over to the Soldier. Perhaps, in this situation, his hit scan is better. Leviathan, if he's going to play DPS, his counter to Pharah cannot be Pharah, because his Pharah's not good enough. Going forward, it's a weakness to me. I don't like it.
I agree. I didn't like this either. Karma holding the backside of the fountain largely too, Jax. There's so much distance given up here.
It's passive play, Lepelos. What do you?
But Leviathan winning the air battle here, damage for the cleanup. They managed to buy off some really good time here on A point. So
I mean, Lepelos, you say winning the Pharah battle, right? Up until the point with about 1 minute 10 seconds left, Lico comes in, 2K barrage in CQC. And there you go. Just like that, Brazil Gaming House gets their first cap.
Yeah, but I mean, on the side of Karma, you're happy you've taken an amount of time away here. Karma do manage to get some holds in the mid-second phase, and then with Klaus on the McCree again, Leviathan going to the 76 this time before B. Yeah, they managed to hold here. Klaus getting a good Deadeye right at the end there to zone everyone, a little damage out, and then clean up as well on cart with a flashbang after. Jax, what I'm saying here, Karma holding Brazil Gaming House before B point.
And that was 1.89.6 meters. Leviathan.
Jackson numbers, man.
He's left alone. I mean, not really left alone, but Brazil, they can't get to him. So basically, he was left alone. They tried. But when you leave a soldier alone, he poke dead, poke dead, and then bang dead. For me, Lepelos, it's just
concerning. Jax, let's talk about the Karma attack though, right? Like,
okay.
The pharmacy combo, we sort of I'm not feeling it either, Jax, here for a lot. So I agree with you. So what do we see coming out of the side of Karma on attack? We see Widowmaker being pulled off the start.
That's interesting. It's interesting because Brazil Gaming House obviously expecting something else level us. They come out with a 222 McCree Soldier. They go full hit scan, expecting a Pharah. I don't know why they did. Leviathan's Pharah was never really a threat at any point.
Well, other than the first fight, particularly.
I suppose.
First,
Okay,
maybe
fine.
second fight a little bit too, but
Lepelos being very, very generous with his praise.
I mean because they held every fight matters, and Karma won a couple of fights off of that. So I mean he had additional support on the ground with the hit scan. Anyways,
this was an interesting one,
but
because if I remember right, this was 222 from Brazil Gaming House.
Yeah, Brazil Gaming House.
Their two tanks
Winston,
were Reinhardt and Winston.
Yeah, and Soldier and McCree and Mercy and Zen. Jax, what is
That's
this
an
combo?
old school comp that we haven't seen in quite.
I've not seen a comp like that.
You want to know what? You want to know what that reminded me of? And I just felt sad all of a sudden, dude. Envy. Envy used to run this level. So you had Coco on the Reinhardt. You had Internet Hulk on the Winston. Cypsogen on. God, man, I'm sad now.
Yeah.
But I am, dude.
Shades.
I remember Internet Hulk. He's Winston. That was his thing.
Back when Winston wasn't a thing, though. Right. But anyways.
That being said, Lepelos, Brazil Gaming House here. I like what they did.
What, do you though? Like it's a ton of space that they give up again. It's the same thing that Karma did.
Except
It is.
They give up a lot of space, but Levels they hold for a really long time.
They hold for like one fight longer than Karma Gaming, maybe two fights.
I liked how they did it up until they literally ran out of space to give up. They would give up space and then they would poke back with the 2 hit scans and they would win. Right? That happened multiple times. There were a number of fights here where I'm thinking Karma should win. At one point, I think
the pulse bomb that landed on. Who is it that landed on Dezino? It landed on him and he used Transcendence. So they forced the Transcendence out for a Pulse Bomb. Didn't get any other kills. That Pulse Bomb, if it landed on Alamau or anyone else, I think they could have had a multi-kill Pulse Bomb right there, and that would have been a fight won in the second fight on Karma's attack right there.
I didn't like Leviathan. He had his moments throughout the entire series. I think he's still trying to find himself. I think Klaus is pretty secure in what he likes to do and how he likes to do it on DPS. But for me, like Leviathan's Widow here, I didn't feel like he was a threat. And even on Watchpoint levels, when he ran Widow, you're a Widowmaker, that's fine. But
I felt like the biggest threat he was here on attack was when he was in SMG mode and tossing the Widow Mine when they finally took the point. Like that was his biggest threat on A point at least here. Like,
I really
I'm not even joking about that.
I really like what Dudu was doing on McCree. The reason why I like Brazil Gaming. When watching Brazil Gaming House play this looked like a strategy, a positional strategy for them. For Karma, it just looked like they didn't know what they were doing with that Pharah, so they kept backing off because when you're unsure of yourself, you play it safe. Here, for me, Brazil Gaming House, it just seemed like their plan was to give space and allow their 2 hit scans to poke them down, and it worked up until they literally ran out of space because the payload was a minute away. If you think about Dorado first point, that means your back is against the wall. That means Dudu had no place to roll and hide with on McCree.
Yeah.
The Soldier Liko had no place to go. And at that point, when you're all enclosed, you know who likes that? It's Winston.
Yeah.
So the Winston player for Karma, he comes in with the Primal Rage. He starts swinging his fist around, banging, rage. At that point, Brazil Gaming House, they can't run away because there's no space. And I said, obviously, in the series between Kings Gaming and Darkside on Eichenwald, their best defense was to not give up the first point.
Yeah.
Here, for Brazil Gaming House, their best defense was to not give up the first point. They gave up the first point, Lepelos.
That's trouble. Jax, I did want to say before we close off the first section here, I made a mistake. It wasn't Dezino that was the Zen. Dezino was a Mercy. Alamau was the Zen. I want to go back. I would go back maybe and check this, but it looked like there was 2 fights in a row that Alamau had Transcendence up. I think he was doing really good work, and I want to go back. He's
a DPS player forced to play support.
No, I know. I mean, sort of, he's a la Harry Hook or something like that. Okay, Jax, let's talk about second phase here. They have to hold in second phase if they want to force a game 4 deciding map. And let me get to my notes here on this section. It was basically a very messy battle from here on. Like, both teams look like any idea of strategy is gone. It looks like they're basically playing Dorado deathmatch at this point, Jax.
They were
Team deathmatch.
I think at the 128 mark, Klaus gets the huge pulse bomb onto Lico and Dezino, and I'm thinking, kills. Okay, Karma, you've got it. Karma pressed the advantage level, staying at 2.7 meters. Right thing, they should have been over, right?
They should have.
That was a brawl, and I honestly feel that in brawls, Brazil Gaming House is going to win. They are more. Yeah,
I think they probably have better calling when it comes down to the brawls, maybe.
Right.
But maybe not their initiations are not the strong points.
Klaus put in the work though. Like,
yeah, he did.
Even after the pulse bomb, like, he was kind of, I won't say out of position, but he was left, in enemy territory. And one, it's Tracer, so he's got all kind of tools to evade and stay alive, which is why Tracer's broken. But he did work, right? A lot of Tracer players would have just gone in and died. He bought a lot of time. They focused on him. For me, Lepolos' key moment, sub 10 seconds in the final fight, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking at this point, Karma's not going to do it because they had their best chance when Klaus hit the 2K pulse bomb, and they didn't make anything with it. Leviathan Lepolos comes up top on the courthouse. Lepolos,
2 things:
high ground timing. Soldier. But yeah, you're 100% right. High ground soldier. He had the positioning. The timing was perfect. He hits the tactical visor Lepolos. He got 1 kill before he was forced out of that position. That 1 kill was onto Dezino Lepolos playing the Mercy. You kill the Mercy, you kill the defense. Brazil Gaming House collapsed in overtime without the Mercy. Tactical visor, 1 kill with tactical visor Lepolos.
Yeah, a surgical kill there, Jax, with a tactical visor. Long range remote surgery there. Deleting
Mercy's the doctor and she's dying the soldier.
Deleting Dezino. Hey, technology, Jax. When you were saying like save the Mercy, save the fight, you're reminding me of like the old Heroes series. But anyways,
dude, that series. Yeah,
the season 1 of the original series is really good.
It was
for
fantastic.
All those young kids that haven't seen it. Never watch anything beyond first season.
Okay, you can maybe second season. After second season, it gets really bad. But Lepolos here's the deal. Karma takes the win here, Lepolos. So this is 3 in a row. This might be 4 in a row. I think I missed the game.
Does that mean we're in the second season of Brazil Gaming House life now? Like, where they're no longer the top dog here?
Lepolos, but they're looking to leave. Here's the deal. How do you leave your region when you're not top of your region?
I say you leave with your tail between your legs and pray that somebody doesn't know that. Like,
Lepolos, who's going to? Seriously,
I would not
invest.
I would not invest. I would not recommend.
I feel bad because this is a dream for them, right? But
I listen. I have dreams too, Jax. But I'm much too old for these dreams. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I'm sorry, these guys are not ready. They need to put in more time and effort. And honestly, you can't expect somebody to give you that time and effort when you're not performing the best in your region.
They're not as good, man. They lost my boy Murius, who I liked on Flex. He's gone.
Yeah, I agree with you. Jax, they're not ready. I think they would need...
Have they peaked, Lepolos? You say they're not ready, as if they got room to grow.
People do
already.
I believe they're still young enough that they can grow into better players, Jax, and a better team. Okay. But you need the right conditions to do that and the right attitude. Jax, I don't feel their attitude is there right now. Like, I feel like they feel like they should be bigger than they are. That they feel like they I'm just speaking. I don't know.
I know we avoid the drama, but what you just said echoes quite a lot of what people who are playing in the South American region who play against these guys have said about their attitude.
Well,
so
this is a common thing even in regional sports, right? Like if you play recreational league, you feel like you're top dog when you win. I don't know, the suburban shuffleboard league at your local bar. You know what I mean? Like, some people let it go to their head. I hope that's not the case, but it sounds like it is the case for Brazil Gaming House.
I only have to look back at the Overwatch World Cup where they struggled. Like, they finished 3rd in the group, and honestly, that was their moment, right? Like, we all had expectations, maybe not to win because they were in a group with USA and Taiwan, Taipei, but they struggled. I think, who's the other team in the group? Was it Israel? I forget who the fourth team in the group was, but they dropped the map to him.
Well, no, was this the American series?
Yeah, in
it was
Burbank. It was the qualifier.
It was New Zealand, I thought.
New
right?
Zealand.
Yeah.
It was some team they should not have dropped a map to, Lepelos.
Yeah.
Is what I'm basically trying to say here. And from there, it was gone down, Lepelos. They lost 2 of their players. Now they lost their coach as well because he didn't want to leave.
Now they're losing more and more matches to Karma Esports. I mean, Karma Esports.
You said we still got something else to cover here, Lepelos. It's concerning. But before we get to that, we might as well go through the rundown because we have somehow gone an hour and 20 minutes.
Jax, this is what happens when I don't curtail our conversations.
Dude. I said short. I think I wrote it in the schedule. Short, Lepelos.
I'm letting you talk.
Let's go to the rundown.
Yeah, we're going through the rundown, guys. We'll come back to the South American scene. Don't worry. We're gonna keep to the schedule here that you have set up.
I suppose I should have scheduled it differently, but hey,
No, that's okay. Just because it's fine for what it is, guys. We're gonna start over with the most other major thing that we didn't watch because of Flash. Jax
I've said this before, Lepelos. It's 2017. Stop making me watch videos in Flash.
Hey,
okay?
Who does that?
I'm not doing it.
Who does that Team Story Chapter 3 finals in China? That happened this week as well, which, I mean, honestly, I would like to have covered, but
Lepelos, big tournament, $53,000 US dollars for total prize pool, 21,000 for first, 14,500 for second.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, big tournament.
I'm trying to think of where we are at in terms of. So I think the semifinals had we November 15th. No, I don't think we. So the semifinals happened
after our show.
Yeah, it was after our show. So Moss 7 Club winning over or losing to Laoyan B in a 3-2 close series. On the other side of the semifinals, we had JD Gaming beating P90 3-0 for a quick semifinals. Jax, that looks like it might be set up here for a pretty quick finals in a best of 5 here. And Jax, it sort of is 3-1 scoreline here. But
I do want to point out there's a draw in there, Lepelos, where neither team got a point. I hate draws, but yeah. Laoyan B, Lepelos, feels like we've been talking about Laoyan B for a year now. Is it their time? Is it like King's Gaming Lepelos? See, I haven't watched it, so I can't say if they're ready. Because for them, it's not OPC, it's OPS. And actually, if I remember correct, don't they qualify for?
I think they should qualify for OPS. I think they're probably ready. I'd have to go.
The winner here. Sorry to cut you off. Winner advances to OPS 2018 Spring main event directly, 2nd through 4th. So that would be JD Gaming, Moss 7 Club, and P90 go into the qualifiers.
See, I'm interested
spring
in
preseason.
Okay, so I'm interested in seeing how that happened, particularly because Laoyan B was 3-2 over Moss 7 Club to get into the final. So if I was going to go back and only watch one game, it would probably be that game that went 5 games without a draw.
I would. That would be rather, and even then, but if you take a look at the scoreline for that one, 2-1 Nepal, 2-1 Kings Row, 1-0 Anubis, 2-1 Route 66, 2-1 Oasis. But it's something to keep an eye on. For people who, you just want some information, keep an eye out. Laoyan B, winners of Overwatch Team Story Chapter 3. They go on to Overwatch Premier Series Spring 2018. That's 2 months away. But
yeah, definitely some stuff that we'll keep on watching out of that scene. We'll try and cover more games, and maybe I'll watch the Flash one. Jax, I'm pretty sure you're including this just to get me to say it again, but we have the Logitech G tournament.
Is it? I mean, so last week
Taiwan 2017 Winter Championships. I'd not even done the name, Jax.
Last week we had the November Taiwan tournament for Logitech G tournament. Now this is the Winter Champion.
Is it winter already? It doesn't. I think it's still technically fall.
Dude, it was here in Los Angeles. It was warm today. I had the AC on when I was on the car.
It was raining up where I am. So
sunny Los Angeles, Lepelos. That's why Blizzard has all the teams here in LA. It's nice and warm.
But. Will the competition be hot? I don't know. Okay, anyways, we're talking about the November champions of the Taiwan Logitech G tournament to face the October champion. Okay. The November, of course, being Something Bang, and that's what you're trying to get me to say a lot of for some reason.
Lepelos, people, I asked our resident linguist. He was unable to translate the rest of this for me, Lepelos. So
we outsourced our linguistic questions to a database, also known as Google. And what was the result when we computed?
Heroes. Lepelos. Listen, it says a Bang Baba Heroes. Now, this is Google Translate, so it's probably not right. It was a Bang Baba Heroes, so something Bang won the November against TTP over what is that? NH?
Yeah, I think so. I can't. Yeah. TTP over INH.
Okay. So, that's something we can pronounce, Lepelos. And looking at this here, we don't even have map lines. Well, we have score lines.
We do. Bang 2-0
Something
over
Bang
TTP.
2-0 over TTP.
Yeah. And then grand final also took place, Jax, where I can't pronounce that other name, but don't worry.
So
it doesn't really matter, Jax. You said do you have the translation for that one?
This one was New Hopelessness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's fitting as something Bang something 2-0 New Hopelessness here. So to earn the grand.
There you go.
The grand
Teams
final
coming.
win.
I mean, I think the Taiwanese teams Lepelos. They also Taiwan goes to OPC.
OPC, I think, yeah.
So that's Flash Wolves territory. I
good
need
luck.
to see if
Good
I
luck.
can find VODs of this. Oh, they might actually. They have a Twitch link. Unlike Team Story, there's a Twitch link here. I just didn't have time, Lepelos. You see, it's Thanksgiving this week. I've had family obligations that I don't want.
Something about the internet going down. I can't remember what. Guys, let's go ahead and
the drama. Lepelos, politics and drama on the Overwatch run. It's not good.
Talking
Congrats,
about
something Bang Lepelos Logitech G Tournament 2017 Winter Champions.
Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and talk about Lenovo Legion Overwatch in Budapest really quickly. Don't worry.
Budapest?
Yeah, you're talking about politics. We might as well go there. We have semifinals and finals to report on here. Pretty quick, Jax. I'm just going to actually jump right into the finals. It's Last Rights winning this 3-0 in a dominant fashion. 2 O's in the semifinals for both of those teams. IDM Esports earning the second place loss, unfortunately. Yeah, okay, that one's done. How much was that one for?
This is what I'm talking about what I talked about. $2,875.
Yeah, that's good.
$2,875.
That's pretty good. Okay, Overwatch Razer series in Germany season 1. That's something I believe we've talked about previously.
Ongoing. Okay, what week are we in right now?
It's hard to tell. Let me just get through all these forfeited matches again because.
Oh, is that what this was? Yeah, 3 teams.
We're week 7
okay.
right now, I believe.
Okay.
And in week 7, it's hard to know who isn't a forfeited match, to be honest, Jax. Like, I can't even tell you.
Heartsphere. So Heartsphere is a forfeit. SGE is a
forfeit. Oh, okay, here we have UE.
SPG.
SPG is a forfeit? Okay, so UE beating Team T, or Team Tranquility, 3-1. And if OB and Overwatch Bootcamp and My Insanity are still active, My Insanity won their matchup 4-0. So that's the weekly results. Let's just actually jump up to the standings here right now. Final game is sitting at 8-0, Plan B at 7-1 right now. Those are the two main people to watch out for. Down at the bottom, we have 3 people tied with 3 wins each for Overwatch Bootcamp, Team Tranquility, and Dynasty Dragons down there at the bottom. Okay, we're just going to leave that one there.
I do want to point out tomorrow, or actually 12 hours from now, we have Final Gaming versus Plan B Esports. So that's the 8-0 Final Gaming versus the 7-1 Plan B Esports. Big game for that region, for this tournament. Do they have a Twitch page? I'm looking. They do have Twitch, so that one can be viewed.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, Lepelos.
Our requirements,
1 versus 2 here. It's a pretty big game for the region. So
okay, Jackson. Speaking of a nearby region, we're moving over to France, where we have this Overwatch 9 League Season 1 going on. In fact, it looks like the playoffs are already done, Jax.
What?
If I'm not mistaken here.
Everything. I might have missed the regular season and the playoffs. So, Lepelos, we're reporting on the finals now.
Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and report on finals and third place game. I'm going to say the third place game. Somebody forfeited third place game, Jackson. Uncool. Okay. I'm not
okay. This is not a French name, Lepelos. Rocketto Puncho.
I don't know. It might be pretty funny.
That is not French, dude.
Neither is Red World Gaming.
Puncho? Are you kidding me?
Neither is Red World Gaming. Those are not French words. But anyways.
Rocketto Puncho.
I don't know. I like the name, man. I like the name. That's funny.
Okay. I think
they're all French players, though.
Does no French, by the way. So yeah.
These are all French players. Okay. Anyways, Jackson Rocketto Puncho 3-1 over Red World Gaming here, including a draw map on Draw Nomura. Okay, I think that's enough coverage for that one because I don't even have dates on that one, Jack. So
I mean, at least it's something.
we're finally
Nope.
back to South America, Jack. So
Okay.
that's where we want to be, right?
Okay.
Okay. This week though, you pointed out something as we entered
Big game.
the final
It was
week,
earlier today, Leplos. Earlier today, big game.
final week of action. Brazil
No way.
Gaming
Really?
House.
This is week 14 for those who aren't aware. 14
round
weeks.
round 14 because some of these are two.
It's one round a week, Leplos.
No. It's some of them are 2 rounds a week. Like last week had 2 rounds and the week before had 2 rounds. Go ahead and look.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, Leplos. Okay.
Plus
fine.
a
You
month
like
break.
That? Then Leplos. It started
Felt like
August 17th.
a long
It's
time
now
ago.
November
Jack's-
21st, and they're just finishing the group stages.
It was so long
That is
ago.
too long.
It was so long ago, Jax, that I'm pretty sure it was close to the start of this podcast. So let's keep on moving along. Keep gaming here. The big story this week is Keep Gaming tying and drawing out with Brazil Gaming House with a 1-1. Jax, you said Keep Gaming disbanding after
They
the
said
season.
this is their final
Overwatch
turn. This is this.
Campeonato.
They said this is their. Okay, wait a minute. I am
Their
so
swan song?
confused. These rosters on this one website I'm looking at must be wrong, so I'm not even going to talk about that. But Lepelos, this score. See, this is concerning. 1-0 Hanamura to Keep Gaming. 1-0 Dorado to Brazil Gaming House. That's not competitive, Lepelos. These are the 2 best teams in the division. Best.
Are you saying they're not ready for Overwatch Contenders season 2?
Lepelos,
I'm saying they're not ready.
1-0, 1-0. I'm
Yeah,
glad I didn't
I'm sorry,
watch
Brazil
this.
Gaming House. You shouldn't leave. You should be back in your gaming house right now practicing. All right, let's go ahead
I
and
do want to point
discuss.
out Lepelos, NL Black versus UPR was another 1-1 draw.
Okay.
It just has not been updated here yet.
All right, that's good to know. Let's go ahead and talk about South American Overwatch circuit, Season 3, Division 1 finals.
Wait, hold on. Quick timeout, Lepelos. Before we leave, should say final. So we're going to the playoffs.
Oh,
next.
right, yeah,
That means
that is
Brazil
true.
Gaming
Okay.
House, top of the division, 13-1. Keep Gaming, second, 11-2-1. Uprising Esports, 7-3-3. WS Esports, 6-2-6. But you see, WS Esports Lepelos, the 4th team here in Overwatch Campeonato Brasileiro. So strictly Brazilian tournament, they're 4th. In the HammerDown Cup, remember how I said keep an eye on that? They went out to some random team that we don't even know, Lepelos.
In fact,
and then they went down to the lower of brackets and lost again.
Yeah, all the teams here pretty much.
This is the 4th best team in Brazil, and they're not even competing in a wider South American tournament.
Yeah, definitely
Okay.
concerning stuff for the Brazilian
Okay.
region. Jax, let's go ahead and
I'm
talk
just
about
saying.
the South American Overwatch circuit, Season
What
3,
happened here?
Division 1. Another short tournament, it looks like. Grand final hasn't taken place, but no big surprise when we have Karma taking on Centaurus Gaming. Quick 3-0 to get to the grand final. On the other side of the bracket, Brazil Gaming House taking on Tech Titans 3-0 there.
All
Jax.
these names we talked about in HammerDown Cup,
Yeah.
Lepelos.
I mean, no surprise if there's going to be another matchup up and coming between Karma and
We don't
Brazil
know
Gaming
when.
House. Who are you going to put your money on? I'm
Uh,
not going to
Karma,
put money.
I mean,
we don't have money.
Lepelos, here's the
Who
deal.
are you going to put
I
your
say
internet
Karma,
points on?
I say Karma, but when this happens, Moira will be out, so who knows?
Yeah. I'm still going to go
the-
with Karma though.
Levels, can they handle the Pharaoh check, right? It's a weakness I think Brazil Gaming House needs to exploit. We'll see, but at this point, I can't really go against Karma. They've won the last 3 or 4 engagements, and Brazil Gaming House coming off this draw to keep who they previously beaten all the time. There's weakness there. There is weakness there in Brazil, Lepelos.
Okay, and the last couple of things you linked me here is actually something a little different.
Look at the prize pool. I had to link it, Lepelos.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. The prize pool is pretty insane. Okay, so, sorry, the prize pool for the first one here, which is okay, well, I'll say what the prize pool is: $7,300 essentially, US dollars. In Jax, the tournament is a 4v4 death match between 2 teams. GC Busan and Runaway here.
Okay, I like those. I know those names, Lepelos.
You do.
I did not watch this, by the way. I had limited time. Thanksgiving, like I said.
Best of 3.
But-
It's a best of 3 series for $7,000. And Jax, Echo Point, Antarctica, Runaway, winning that one. I have no score lines, guys, for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, anyways, that would actually be interesting to see how different it was. GC Busan, Temple of Anubis, taking that one. So it goes to map 3, Kings Row, Runaway taking that one in this 4v4 winners. 5,000 Korean. Actually, I don't know what the Korean.
5 million Korean
5
levels.
million.
4,500, US dollars.
4,500.
Runaway.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I wanted to point out. Yeah, that's pretty nice purse just to have for winning.
This is interesting. So while I didn't watch this, I'm just looking at the rosters that both teams provided. Lepelos, you had Stitch, Cox, Bumper, and Hacksaw for Runaway. You had Closer, Ariel, Gesture, and Prophet for GC Busan. Looking at, I might watch this if I find the time. Looking at this, you would say GC Busan, right?
I mean, it feels like it should be good. I mean, they've had
Gesture
the
and Prophet were like Gesture, arguably best tank OG in season, was it 4? Prophet best DPS season 4. Closer, I mean, this is interesting.
Just if you think that's interesting, let's talk about the other tournament you linked here.
Other tournament.
This one has higher prize pool, $8,000 and $8,200. Jax, that's pretty ridiculous. And they split into 3v3. So we have 2 teams from both Runaway and 2 teams from GC Busan. So red and blue.
Looking at these results, the GC Busan team that lost, I don't understand. That team is stacked.
Jax,
as hell.
don't go beyond. Well, let's talk GC Busan teams. Don't look at the other teams yet. GC Busan red.
Okay.
Hureg, Hagupun, Huo, or Wuhao.
Okay.
Wuhio. And
yeah.
GC Busan blue, Closer, Gesture, and Prophet. Okay, so I'm not too surprised to see.
That's a monster team. Are you kidding? Closer, Gesture, and Prophet? Like,
yeah, they lost.
Huge.
I mean, it's a good one. I mean, not to put anything against like Hagupin particularly. I think probably helped out. GC Busan red going through 2-1. Earning wins on the second and third maps, Echo Point, Antarctica, and Ilios, losing on Lijiang Tower to start. So GC Busan red with Hurei, Hagupin, and Wuhio going
The
through.
thing is, I think the difference would be Hagupin. Hagupin plays the DPS. Yeah. His DPS would be better than Closer.
So
damn, that would be interesting. I gotta watch this.
So
I
Jack,
don't have time.
You say that. Let's talk about Runaway. Runaway doing something a little different. They put Janu in TZ with Haxel on Runaway blue. So
that's interesting.
No support.
That's really interesting.
3v3 lockout. On the other side, Jax, Bumper, Cox, and Stitch. Tracer, Jackson, Tracer. I'm just gonna say that.
I mean, here's the deal. Cox, as you know, is a DPS in a support's body. That's why he kept trying to flex over to the Soldier. He kept wanting to play the Reaper and the Soldier and the DPS player. So, wow, Runaway blue. I mean, Lepelos, they have no support players. They lost 2-0. Is that a surprise?
I'm not surprised by that. Ilios and Black Forest both going the way of Runaway red. So we've got the 2 red teams, Jax, facing off against each other in the finals. Runaway red, GC Busan red. Let's talk at GC Busan getting early win on Echo Point Antarctica. Antarctica. I know. I just wanted to say it anyways. Nepal though, and then Lijiang Tower going the way of Runaway red. Jax, the support players win something.
Lepelos, here's the deal. Runaway winning in both finals here over GC Busan. 4v4 and 3v3.
That's definitely.
Why does this not translate over to 6v6, Lepelos?
Strategy and coaching and ultimate value probably coming more into play in regular matchups than deathmatch matchups. So that's the end of the rundown portion of our podcast, which basically brings us to the end of the podcast itself, Jax.
Lepelos, how this was supposed to be a short episode.
We talked.
I'm at 1 hour and 40 minutes on my Audacity.
I let you talk,
That's too
Jax.
long.
I shouldn't let you talk. I should start.
That is too Lepelos. Here's the deal. I don't have nothing to talk about next week. I have nothing on.
I can't guarantee you it will be a short episode though next week.
Lepelos, I don't have anything to talk about. 2 weeks from now, I think we're supposed to get a Chinese tournament, the Nexus Cup, which should be rather interesting with some of the teams that'll be thrown around.
Yeah.
But as next week. Maybe we'll have the Campeonato Brasileiro finals. Maybe.
Was there that other that South American?
We don't know. It has not been rescheduled yet. I actually went to the Facebook page and I had to translate it because my Spanish is terrible. Yes, I know. I live in Los Angeles. I have terrible Spanish.
Who knows? I
Yeah.
honestly don't know. We'll keep our eye out to see if anything
Nothing on
pops
the
up.
schedule. Like I'm looking at the Over.GG schedule. You know what the next game they have listed, Lepelos? Florida Mayhem versus Philadelphia Fusion. 14 days from now.
We got to have a little patience, everyone. Might be a bit of a quiet week next week. Don't worry. We'll
Actually, you know
we'll we'll
what?
come
If
back with
there's really
something
nothing,
at least
Lepelos,
minimal.
we might do a preview next week
Yeah, I mean,
of
worst case
the
scenario, that's
preseason.
what we'll do, guys. Do
Okay.
let us know if you do want us to do a preview episode for the Overwatch League exhibition games and obviously the league itself when it comes out.
Okay,
We can
I'll
adjust
also
what we're
point out
doing.
this would be highly opinionated because we don't have access to
Jax,
scrims.
when do we do anything that's not opinionated on
I
this podcast?
mean, you're not wrong, but I have to put out that qualifier there. He is, well, I guess we are the Overwatch Rundown at OW Rundown on Twitter. He is at Leplos. I am at Jax JAX_Blake. Catch us the podcast actually every Tuesday night around 9:15 Pacific on twitch.tv/Lepelos. If you Google YouTube Lepelos, it'll be there as well. Did I leave anything out, Lepelos?
I think that's pretty much everything for the day, guys. So thanks for listening. We'll catch you again next week, where we'll either have a preview or some other small tournaments to give
I
you
don't
guys.
even have something bang for next week. Lepelos.
No bang, Jax. Oh man, that's a. I guess we're going out with a whimper then, but.
Terrible. Go to the music now.
All right, Jax. Sound is off this time. I thought that was a good one. Come on, bring a little culture in. Okay, no,
Yeah.